Hey guys, it's May, and at the time of this recording, I have been a full-time entrepreneur now for 8 years. And so 7 years ago, I was a full-time middle school language arts teacher grading papers at night. Fast forward to today, and I run a successful online education business helping experts turn their books into thriving brands and businesses. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to share some of the key turning points that helped me to make this leap so that you can too, if that's something that you desire. Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium price coaching communities. And so I actually started my career as a middle school language arts educator with concentrations in social studies, math, and language arts. But my passion and my gift was always for writing and leadership. And so when I started my first year as a teacher, I went in leadership. I was the writing coach for 3 years. Then I began to go into more school-based team leadership, hallway type of deal. And then I became the department co-chair and then the department chair. And so my goal was to become an academic coach. Because I knew that I had small children. At the time, my husband was traveling for work, and I just did not have the bandwidth for the requirements of administration. Being an assistant principal or a principal in the time that it takes, because of my family dynamic, I did not have the bandwidth to fulfill those duties and responsibilities in excellence. And so I was working towards becoming an academic coach, but I ended up writing my first book and turning that book into 6 figures shortly after, and the rest was history. However, I am still an advocate for education. I'm still an advocate for learning. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, a specialist degree in educational leadership, and I am now working on my doctorate in education in curriculum and leadership. And so I still use a lot of my skill set, my professional skill set and training in my business in the online education space. And I still believe in education. At the time of this recording, I'm going into my final year of my doctoral program. So God willing, I'll be able to finish soon. All right. And so, but at that time when I was teaching, I didn't necessarily feel stuck. I enjoyed my career. I enjoyed seeing the light bulbs in the kids' minds go off. But I did feel stuck income-wise, because I knew that there was a cap on how much I could make in the classroom. And I saw people doing more. Like at the time, my husband, he graduated from high school, but he didn't go through college. And he was making almost double the amount that I was making with several college degrees. And so with him and seeing others, I'm like, okay, I know I don't have to work this hard or deal with the stress from this profession in order to make the money that I wanted to make. And so I really wanted to make more income, but I also began feeling like 10, 12 years in that I had given back. I felt like I had done my duty of giving back, and I knew that the new season of my life was not meant to be confined within 2 walls. Within 4 walls, right? And so I began looking for more options than what my traditional career could offer. So the game changer was when, personally for me, like I said, I was at home on bed rest, and I noticed this young lady from Alabama who worked in a convenience store, y'all, in a gas station, who was bringing in like $30,000 in digital products, only to find out that my assistant principal at that time was making around $40,000 to $50,000 a year in digital products from Teachers Pay Teachers. And I would not have been exposed to, I would not have understood these types of things unless I had been looking for it. And so I realized that the expertise I had could be monetized outside of the classroom. And I was like, hold up, I'm smart. Not only am I smart, because I don't believe that degrees make you intelligent. I don't believe in that. I believe that intelligence can be developed and some of it sometimes become natural. But I'm like, I'm smart. I catch on quick. I implement well. And I have formal training, right? I'm like, if these people who don't have any type of formal training, if they can figure out how to do this, I absolutely know that I can figure out how to do this and make this work for me. That was the shift that I had, because I was at home on bed rest with my son. I got sent home with him when I was 6 months pregnant. And at the time when I needed more money the most, that's when my pay started getting cut, because I wasn't at work. And so I was living off of short-term disability, where I was bringing home or getting paid 60% of my check. And I'm like, this can't be life. And I never want to put myself in position again for someone else to dictate the quality of life I live and how much I make. I wanted to bring that. I wanted to have control over that. And my husband made good money. He made 6 figures. He worked for the railroad at the time. But I always like having my own money. That's just me. I always like having my own money. And I was just like, I don't like making 60% of my check. I don't like the way that feels. So let me figure out how to fix this. So, going through it was easy, but it wasn't. It was easy to figure out how to create the things. That was the part that was easy. The most difficult part was getting over myself. It was believing in myself that I could do it. It was ignoring the naysayers who didn't understand the online education industry. It was also starting from scratch in some perspectives. Like, I came from education. So that means that I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about sales. I didn't know about any of these tech tools. I had to learn about them. And I had to keep an open mind, and I had to be willing to learn. And I had to learn how to think like an entrepreneur and like a CEO, and not as an employee. I couldn't wait on anybody to tell me what to do. I had to make plans and strategies about what I was going to do next. And I couldn't just sit there and twiddle my thumbs thinking, oh, it's not perfect. Well, you know what? You won't know if it's going to work if you don't try it. So I was in my try it season. And so I started joining memberships. I purchased courses and classes and digital products. I began building systems, and I really stayed laser focused on serving my community and serving my clients with excellence, and learning how to get clients and serving them with excellence. And so I started out with my book, and I built my brand around it. I always knew that was what I was going to do. And the financial shift for me came when I said, you know what? I enjoyed having a membership, but when I realized that people wanted me to do things for them and they were willing to make an investment for that level of done for you, that's what boosted me into high ticket, by providing done for you services. And once I did that, everything changed, because I was then able to replace my income from my career with services that I offered in my business. And so I have some quick lessons for you, because there are some lessons that I learned during that time period. The first lesson is that your mindset matters more than your skill set. Like, you can know all the things and you can create all the things, but you have got to believe in yourself more than anybody else believes in you, more than your mom believes in you, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your spouse. They might not believe in you. They might not understand what you're doing. You've got to believe in yourself above all else, and you have to be very intentional about having an elevated mindset. And this is one of the reasons why during that time I was constantly listening to mindset audio every single morning. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself early. I stand by it. I always had a coach, and I keep a coach. All right? I believe that coaching, when you select great coaches, it's an accelerant. It's an accelerant. It helps you to compress time and accelerate your results. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting down in free groups or online trying to figure out things, trying to piece things together, trying to figure out who you can trust. And that's time, that's effort, and that's energy that you could actually be putting into doing the thing, right? I also want you to remember that your story and your expertise are your superpowers. Not your story by itself, not your expertise by itself, but your story and your expertise are your superpowers. And I want you to know, I don't believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. I don't believe in that. I don't. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know that I have a certain mindset and a certain work ethic, and I'm willing to do certain things. I'm willing to take certain risks. So if you keep your mindset high level, if you invest in the circles, in the people, in the networks to help you accelerate your results, and if you are relentless about executing and doing the work, and you refuse to take no for an answer, you absolutely can do it. All right? I'll catch you on the next video. Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium priced coaching communities.